I was deeply saddened by the news that hit the chess community yesterday about the passing of Danya. And if you clicked on this video, chances are you know who he was, or you at least heard of him. If you haven't, he was an American chess player who played the game for years at the highest levels. I believe he got his GM title. He was a grandmaster since the age of 18. And not only a chess player, but also an amazing commentator, streamer, author of 2 books, and just an overall amazing guy and a great ambassador for the game. Obviously, I didn't know Danya personally, but when lockdowns hit in 2020, and I got into the world of chess, both playing and watching it online, I started seeing him more and more, and I just loved his passion and energy that he brought to the commentator booth. It was amazing to watch that he could turn a relatively boring game to something that was actually exciting to watch, and I really liked him for it. And unfortunately, at the young age of 29 years old, he passed away a few days ago. And you might ask yourself, why am I making this video in the first place? Because it's not a chess channel, right? And you would be correct to point that out. But I do talk a lot about, creating a life that you love, tapping into our human potential so we can maximize our experience here on Earth. Success principles, self-development, all that sort of stuff, right? And as I was sitting there yesterday, and I was trying to make sense of what just happened and why it happened, I felt that I realized a couple of things that might be valuable if I shared that in a video for those who are going through some similar things as Danya. And as of right now, as of me recording this video, I believe his official cause of death is still not published yet, so I don't want to say something inappropriate or something that's untrue, or I don't want to, speculate or presume anything. But just going off the information that you could see online, things that were public about him, conversations that he had with other streamers and chess players, you could clearly see that he wasn't well. He was battling some negativity, both externally and internally. And I believe that with the right mindset or frame of mind or awareness, this probably could have been avoided. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Danya retired from professional chess, playing classical chess, I believe, a few years ago. But he continued playing online in a blitz chess format, which is a much faster time control. And he was one of the best at it in the whole world. According to other chess players, he was regarded as a top 2, top 3 player. In certain formats, on his best days, he could beat anybody. In fact, he was so good that about 2 years ago, something like that, he was even accused of playing unfairly. He was basically accused of cheating, which obviously wasn't true. Anyone who knew him could tell that he's just not that type of a person, right? And because it came from someone that he highly looked up to, at least at a certain point of his life, I think, because it was a former world champion, and I don't want to name names because this video is not about that. If you're in the chess world, if not, it doesn't really matter. The point is, he was accused of playing unfairly amongst other players. He wasn't even the only person who was accused of that, which in itself says a lot about the person who said these kinds of things. But nonetheless, he felt the need to publicly defend himself and to prove people that he is in fact still a really good player, and that the performance that that people can see online is actually him. It's not an engine. It's actually him playing. But the need to be approved by his peers was so strong that his performance started fluctuating. And he started playing poorly. And when he did, people said that, oh, he's washed away, he's not even a good player anymore. And that really got to him. That really hurt his ego. And when he played well, people jumped on the bandwagon and said, oh, maybe it is true that the only reason he's performing well is because he's cheating. And that hurt him even more. And even though there were a lot of people who were loving on him and sending kind messages to him, for some reason he always focused on the negative ones. And as I was trying to make sense of why things happened the way they happened and why it got to him so much, I always kept coming back to the topic that I talk so much about on this channel, which is identity. Because what happens is, growing up, we as children, we require both love and approval from our parents. We need love and nurture from our mother, from the feminine side, and we require approval and acknowledgement from the masculine, from our dad side. And if either of those or both of those are missing, then our ego, our self-identity can get wounded against that. And we can make up these false beliefs about ourselves that I'm not good enough unless I achieve. I'm not good enough unless I bring home good grades. I'm not good enough unless I perform well at sports or at playing chess or whatever it might be. And I don't know if it was the case for him. Again, I don't want to, speculate or say anything that's untrue. But generally, because I talk to so many people, I can see that it's a very dangerous game when someone is trying to build an identity from external factors, whether that's, achievements, performance, accolades, material things, or other people's opinions. And it's very important to have a strong sense of self and a strong sense of reality where you know your values, you know who you are, and your opinion of yourself matters more to you than anybody else's opinion out there. And that's the exact reason, when people come to me to work with them, one of the first things that I always like to do is that I like to anchor them in a reality, in the present moment, in a state of mind where they give themselves emotionally everything that they want to experience in their desired reality. And what I mean by that is, anytime you set a goal or you have a true end result, you want to achieve something in the future, it's not actually the thing that you want. It's the way you think you will feel about yourself when you achieve that certain thing. And that's why you might say, I want to achieve a certain, chess rating, and then I will feel good enough. Then I will feel proud, and then I will show the world that I am indeed this amazing player that I think I am. And the problem with that is, if that's how you wire your brain, if you always tie your happiness to a future event, then That's literally how you wire your brain. And even if you achieve those things, which, Danya is an extreme case, but in the life of an average person, it could be a certain income level, or a certain car, or whatever it might be. They say, once I achieve that thing, then that means that I'm finally good enough. Then that means that I'm worthy. Then that means that I'm a cool guy or a cool girl or whatever. But the problem is, if that's how you wire your brain, you place your happiness in the future, and it will always be in the future. So you'll never get to feel good about yourself. And that's why I like to anchor the people that I work with in the present reality, in a way that they already feel like their life is perfect, which puts them in a creative structure, which means that from there they can just focus on creating amazing end results in their lives, simply because they want to experience them, not because that thing solves a problem in their life. See, that's the issue with most people, is that they believe that their life is a problem that needs to be solved, or that they are flawed and they need to solve these characteristic issues. And we do that through 4 core orientational choices. And when I say we, it's everyone who is in the superconscious work that I share a lot about on this channel. But basically, there are 4 core choices that you want to affirm every single morning. And these are: I choose to live a life I love. I choose to have health and vitality. I choose to be the predominant creative force of my life. And I choose to live my true nature and purpose. And again, when you do that, you anchor yourself in a present reality where you feel like everything is already great. You are already enough in every way possible. And you just focus on creating end results simply because you love them, not because you want to fill a void inside you. Because if you say, I choose to live a life I love, then you focus on things that would bring you more joy. On the one hand. On the other hand, you focus on the things that already give you joy in your life. So it trains your mind to think about all the different things that you could create and you want to create. And also turns your focus in the present reality on the things that you already have that you could be grateful for. So it fills your heart with gratitude instead of thinking about what's missing. The second choice is I choose to have health and vitality. And that's an obvious one. Even if you are healthy right now, it's just a choice that you want to affirm again and again and set an intention for it, to keep being healthy or becoming more and more healthy in the future. And this is a side point. I don't know if Danya, lifted at all, or what was his fitness level, but I'm saying this to you who's listening to this right now. If you also have depression or some depressive thoughts, with that alone, with fitness alone, you could solve at least 90% of depression if you just take care of your health and fitness. But that's a side point. The third choice is, I choose to be the predominant creative force of my life. And that is basically the opposite of being a victim. It basically says that you choose to think the thoughts that you choose, and you choose to feel emotions that you choose and nothing else. Because the opposite of that is being a victim. It's just being pushed around by life and listening to other people's opinions. And when you affirm every single morning that, no, I choose to be the predominant creative force of my life, then that allows you to take your power back. And you're going to be less likely to feel bad if, people write negativity about you online. And the last one is, I choose to live my true nature and purpose. And I believe that our true nature, all of us here on earth, is to be a creator, is to experience life to the fullest, and to always have a desire that we are moving towards, because that's how we improve. That's how our consciousness expands. And your purpose is your gift, and how you apply that gift and how you share your gift with other people. And I believe Danya was a prime example of someone who did that. He found his purpose and he also shared it. So he was really good at bringing people joy. Even now, if you see his last stream, people are so sad, and people are so appreciative of him helping people through difficult times and hardships. And people are so sad all over the world that he did it to himself, or whatever it is that happened. I don't want to get into that. But overall, I just wanted to say that it's very important to have a sense of self-love and a strong sense of reality, where you know who you are, you know your values, and you don't let other people's opinions sway you. And I guess that's all I wanted to say about that. I just wanted to pay a tribute to him because he's an amazing guy who is gone way too soon. And we are robbed from many good memories with him, watching him stream and commentate. And for everyone else listening to this, I just wish that if you are also going through difficult times, then please talk to someone, because I'm sure they would much rather listen to you vent a little bit than having to lose you. So thank you so much for listening, and Danya, rest in peace, brother.